And in the top right-hand corner, as the red Protoss, we have Probe King, otherwise known as Gorgo.
And in the bottom left, we have the blue Zerg, IRK AgGe.
So yeah, we'll see. I don't know too much about Probe King. Who did his name remind me of? Someone else was named something King that was, but I think he was like a really strong player. But maybe I'm just going crazy. I don't know.
Cheese King.
Cheese King, yeah, that's why I'm thinking King. Yeah, Michael.
Yes. So this map in PvZ, any thoughts about it? Or ZVP?
It's interesting. I mean, Zerg, you know, doesn't, if they expand normally, they have to take like a pretty far base if they want a third gas, and there's not just a natural, like where you can just take a natural and then take another main behind it. So I feel like it's a little more geared towards aggressive play. You don't see it as often, but if someone can get a lurker contain in that tight choke, it obviously is really powerful. Very, very hard to break.
The Protoss, he just tried to do a proxy pylon on the high ground, and
but the Overlord was there?
Exact path of the Overlord, yeah, so he built the pylon and then canceled it. Oh no.
Okay.
Starting off to a rough start. He's up to 300 minerals already with
is he just gonna next? No, okay, he's gonna commit to the gate. I don't know. Whoops. Alright, so I guess we have to give Probe King like minus a letter grade or minus 2 letter grades for lack of preparation. I mean, if you're planning to do a proxy, and I mean the map only has one scouting direction, so like that's a little bit of an oversight on Probe King's part.
On the other hand, though, you have to think about it this way, right? So what if it was all intentional, right? So like he shows the pylon,
that
right?
could be.
And
that could be. That could be.
He's like, this guy is behind now. There's not going to be any aggression coming this way. I can go 12 hatch safely now, and that's exactly what AgGe does. But the 2 gate is actually closer now than it was before.
And it's closer than it was before.
It's a little delayed, but psychologically speaking, this is significant damage, I think.
And the other thing will be interesting to see is now, having seen that, does AgGe go to the natural or not? If he goes to the natural, he's still going to have pretty good warning time. I mean, he's obviously already committed to 12 hatch, but...
And it doesn't look like he's going to have 6 lings out in time of pool finishing, because generally the timing for that, I believe, is like 300 health on your spawning pool. That's when you stop making drones if you want 6 lings, but he's going to have like maybe 2 lings.
Oh, that's going to be really rough.
Yeah.
Even if this is a bit later, it's still 2 gates hitting from pretty close distance. Oh, but this drone is going to be huge, or at least helpful. He can at least have 2 drones, 3 drones ready down to make sunkens, try to get something finished. Of course, he turns around. He's like, "Oh shit! You gotta be kidding me! You gotta be fucking me! Is this for real?" Oh what? But Probe King is getting a forge back at home. I guess he's really worried about lings running around. He's probably not going to try to cannon this, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
We'll see.
There are 4 lanes coming. I would have liked to see some drones coming to the natural to.
Oh, he's considering he might just seed his natural. If he was going to do this, I would rather see him take the gas really fast. I also don't like the placement of the sunken. It absolutely has to be in the mineral lines. Mass zealots off 1 hatch can easily come in and kill this. So unless Probe King makes some major mistakes or AgGe counters, I think this is going to go pretty easily to Probe King. But we'll just have to wait and see. More zealots coming in right now. They'll fight fine against these lings if he can get them together. Alright, so we're starting to link up. He's trying to morph this, but there's already a lot of damage on it. Most of the lings are being killed off here, and it's looking quite terrible for AgGe. He'll have the sunken to fall back on, but it's in a really terrible spot, and Probe King can just overwhelm. He also didn't tech.
The question is if top left is going to get scouted, because I can see that being a way to come back from this somehow, if the hold is good in the main.
Yeah, if he can find a way to hold, but I don't see how he can. Okay, if he makes 2 sunkens maybe, and that sunken's in a little better to drill spot. His eco is still going to be in the gutter, but at the same time, we see that Probe King is not ecoing up behind this. So, yeah, I guess now is a position where if Probe King were to like do a stupid attack here, dive on this, and AgGe is able to eco and drone up at the other base, and Probe King doesn't go into probe production, he could end up pretty far behind.
Yeah, he is going into tech as well, so he's not going to have a big eco advantage over AgGe. They look like they have similar probe and counts, like 2 more probes for Probe King right now. And AgGe's using that back hatchery in order to make lings right now. I would have probably made a few drones, I think, instead, because cannon is in the main. I don't know if he's aware of that. The Overlord is there. But yeah, I would have definitely used that as an eco boost. Or maybe he's trying to build up enough to snipe this pylon for these gateways.
Yeah, if he oh, he's coming with just to the, oh, there's no zealots being made though. He'll probably get the pylon. He's gonna force at least some of the zealots back. And I wonder if Probe King is going to sense these Lings coming down and be like, that's weird. They're coming from a weird spot. How are they getting there? But he is going to get the pylon. He'll get it if he wants it. Okay.
Yeah, but is it worth trading the hatchery for? Because there's no way I think that you can defend the hatchery now.
No, I don't think so.
Ooh, but he is baiting the Zealots inside.
Well, actually, I take that back. It depends on how long he can delay these Zealots for. I mean, maybe AgGe's not going to realize even that this is there. He might have just, But if he delays the Zealots, because now he's got 2 hatch Ling production against 0 gateways. So all he has to do now is delay the Zealots for another 30 seconds, and he will have enough to save the hatch.
And he did make drones now, but if you look at the Zealot from Probe King, it's like he realizes that the Lynx came back through there. Maybe he's not aware that the the what is it called, the reactor or the depot thing, that wall behind the natural of Zerg right now?
Yeah.
That it's stacked. Maybe he doesn't realize it. Maybe he thinks that the Zerglings broke through it.
An Evo chamber and 2 sunken. Is he worried about DTs? Why is there an Evo chamber at the 3rd?
And there's no Overlord in the main, so I feel like that would have been the easier solution, honestly. But actually, Evo, maybe as a response to the Stargate, maybe he did see that. He probably saw that fact that it's tech or cyber type support, maybe.
Oh man, AgGe's cleaning up some of these Zealots. Not the best control here from Probe King as he bleeds out a few Zealots.
But the pylon did get remade. He's making Dragoons now, which is not a bad decision in my opinion. Dragoons can be hella annoying against Sunkens, especially when they're kind of split up and not in like a wall formation here. He could definitely do some damage, deny gas in the main, for example, if he gets range on those.
Could, but is there Ling Speed coming? Because once there's Ling Speed out, okay, Ling Speed's about to finish, and with 2 hatches, like, 2 hatch Lings is going to just completely roll over 2 hatch Goons if there's Ling Speed. Although an Overlord loss can be annoying.
Yeah.
I don't think AgGe quite realizes that he had the potential to be in a good position. It kind of seems like he might just go all in with this. I mean, look at his gas. We'll see if he throws down a lair here. But he's mining more gas than he needs, especially since he's not making a lair. And he's he's making a few too many Overlords. I'm just trying to see where AgGe wants to go with this game. He's making another creep colony. I don't think he understands his position. Like, he's being really defensive. He's putting these creep colonies in positions that aren't particularly useful, especially now that Dragoons are coming. And I think AgGe doesn't have a good grasp on where the situation is.
Yeah, absolutely not. I think it's just someone that's been thrown off their game a little bit, doesn't have that much
He's going to get the pylon again, though, so that's nice.
And that does supply cap Probe King as well. And if these gateways go down, there are some Zealots being made in here. Oh, the Dragoons are going to pull back. Let's see the micro on these.
Yeah, this should be pretty easy for Lings to kill. I wonder if he's going to finally figure out that there's a hatchery now. He's going to be like, what the fuck? These Lings keep coming from God knows where. What the fuck is going on? Alright, he's going to get one of them if he wants it. Alright, picks off a Goon. Not bad, not bad. We got a Corsair out, though. That's going to be annoying. But he has... Oh, that was not first sunken. Okay, I take back a little bit. I still don't know about 3 sunkens, but I thought that was a 4 sunken. It's a Spore that I guess makes sense if you have no other tech.
Yeah. Yeah, the gas part that you mentioned earlier definitely makes the least amount of sense here. I feel like a lot of people just, they put 3 on gas and then don't ever think about it ever again, which is obviously, like, normal for starting out players. But if you're not going to use your gas anytime soon, and you're kind of low on minerals, it definitely makes sense to take the drones off gas for a little bit.
I mean, he's got a K, and it's not like he's got lair tech, and he's going to put down a Spire and surprise with...
Oh, look at his natural. I mean, not his natural, his second base. The way that he placed the sunken, each drone is going all the way back to the middle of the hatchery to deliver that. Yeah, that's so annoying.
It's amazing how certain building placements, you just like completely fuck your mind, and you're just like, oh my gosh. I always have the biggest problem with that in ZVZ when I need to place a Spire and a sunken. I can never get it right, and I'm always just looking at my mining and just face palming so hard.
I block my gas way too often too.
Yeah. The other thing I don't like, Probe King had a good position. He had ramp control. He had all this kind of stuff. Oh my god, this is beautiful move from AgGe here in the main. There's nothing Probe King can do. That is so good. That is so good.
I was about to say the same exact thing, is the fact that he's spreading all his buildings out so far away. There's absolutely no reason for that. He has defensive buildings for a reason. Why not build the gateways closer to the cannons? It's a little...
And I just like the fact, too, that he had this position. He knew Zerg was on basically 1 hatch, and he didn't eco up. He's still sitting here. He added a couple probes, but he's still sitting here on a very infantile, very weak eco. Oh, Zealot does get out. That's nice, but still not that helpful. He can actually could just go kill the gas. He's going to try to dive on the cannon, won't be able to get it. And that's going to bring the rest of the army back. And now AgGe's in a pretty good spot. He's going up to 3 hatches against a 1 base Protoss. His economy is better. He's finally got Lair. He'll have enough gas if he wants to go heavy Muta. I know there's a Stargate, but I think there's only... Actually, no, never mind. He probably wouldn't go Muta with this mini Corsair. I didn't realize he'd made 4 already.
Yeah, it depends on how many he sacks trying to chase these.
Yeah.
Good Corsair micro hero would be important, but he already did invest in a Hydra Den, so we should expect to see a follow-up of Robo from the Protoss, or at least the expansion.
But with no gateways right now, all right, well, Probe King's going to go for it with his attack. And, I mean, he does have a few Dragoons in here, which is nice, but there are a few Hydras starting to pop, and if he drills on the Sunkens, he should be able to keep these alive well enough to clean this army up fairly easily. And that means that Probe King now has no units. So, I mean, all AgGe really needs to do now is... I mean, he can probably just flood Hydras. He's got 2 options. He's got the option to make a round or 2 of drones, put down 5 hatches, and just be in a crazy spot, or he's got the option to just make Hydras off of 3 hatches, and he can just range everything down. And there's like slow lots. There's just no real options here for Probe King.
Yeah, and I really like this move from AgGe as well. He just researched Burrow in his main base, and now he burrowed a Ling on the natural of Probe King, so that's going to delay any expansion even further. Yeah, and we don't see any detection in sight. We see a Templar Archives on the way, so this could be very difficult for Probe King going forward now.
Yeah, it should be. I mean, I'm confident if AgGe just wanted to go Hydras, he would just win with Hydras right now. I feel like the one way he could probably lose this would be if he just sits back, doesn't eco up that much, and makes Hydra, but sits back for a while, because then that would let Probe King make an army with Storm off of 1 base, and then he could push out and maybe do something. But if AgGe either drones hard or Hydra's hard, but he's going for Lurker, which is not a bad choice, but I feel I don't like it as much as if he would have just gone for mass Hydra.
Yeah, I agree with you, but at the same time, I feel like just 1 or 2 DTs would have pretty much shut down any Hydra aggression as well. So Lurker is more of a long-term investment, I think. Like, I'm not sure if... Obviously, AgGe probably doesn't know exactly that DTs are coming out. I don't know if Probe King is even going to make DTs, but with so many Sarah out on the map, no real anti-air opportunities, and slow overlords... Mass
Hydra, and then he's got Lair, so grab Ovi speed and just bring the Ovies with you, you know.
Well, this will still be extremely scary, because I don't think Probe King knows what Burrow is, or maybe he you know, like, sometimes I forget things.
All right, AgGe is adding drones, and if he takes a 3rd base, then it becomes a different situation, but my worry is that AgGe was just going to go Lurkers off of like 15-20 drones and 3 hatches, and just sit there, and that leaves you open to an opportunity where Protoss can come out, bust your Lurker contain, and cause problems. Oh, that's a bad place to park those Corsairs. 2 of them go down. Whoops. Whoops.
And honestly, these slow lots against this amount of Lings and Hydras, if micro-dwelled by AgGe, this should be a solid win for AgGe.
Well, a few too many. Doesn't really get the arc he needs, the surrounding needs with the Lings. Good arc for Protoss to kill those Lings.
Yeah, he also lost like the first 2 or 3 Hydralisks by running them straight into the Zealots as well.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's 4 more Zealots back there. So, are we getting speed? Yes, we're getting speed. We're not getting +1. We are not getting any detection still.
And he is going to go into High Templars. So that is good. He will get 4. He's got enough gas banked. Look at AgGe's gas bank, though. Jesus.
Yeah. AgGe is going up to their base. It looks like he's going around back. I think he's going to try... It's called a power generator, by the way. I just found out. Oh, he's going to Lurker back here. This is actually really smart. This is cute.
Oh, he's got double... I didn't realize this. Probe King made double archives. I was just looking at a little bit of panic there.
Yeah, get Storm and Energy at the same time. That's a pro move right there.
Yeah, but I kind of like casting games like this because it gives you a lot of thoughts. These games do get pretty strategic, right? Because you're both in weird positions, and it really does come down to, like, when the economies are this low, it is a little bit less about mechanics and a little bit more about who makes the right decisions at the right times. Like, mechanics still matters, but there's a lot of decision making to be made here, and you can tell that both players aren't particularly comfortable with these kind of situations.
Yeah.
And a lot. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I think there's a...
thinking about, like, why can't I build this deck? Him moving his probe, moving his, moving his zealot around. He's like, what's going on? But AgGe's about to bust out through the back right now.
Oh, this cannon, he's got to move the Lurker. Come on, yeah, there we go. Good. And I like what Probe King's trying to do here, but it's not going to be... You need to target. All right, good work. Does he know the generator's going to die? I don't know. I don't know.
He should have heard it, but I don't think he knows it.
Yeah, he stopped attacking it.
Stopped attacking it because of splash damage. Not all of them go down at once, so
Yeah. If he runs the lurkers in, though, like, the building block is pretty strong. I don't actually know if he can take out all of those cannons. And if, like, he can definitely start, like, hitting the archives and the Stargate, which will be stressful. Oh, he didn't add a robo. Oh, my God. Probe King is, like, dead. He didn't add a robo.
I don't think he even needs to really hit the cannons or anything. He can just sandwich the army, and then there's nothing that Probe King can do about it.
Oh, yeah, or that, yeah. But yeah, I didn't.
He can't go back in.
He can park the lurkers in places where he can kill gateways. Like, good positioning here. AgGe can win this, especially because Probe King. I don't know what happened, but Probe King didn't even attempt. I guess just gas. Oh, he's got it. Finally starting a robo. AgGe is not moving those lurkers. That's a bit unfortunate. He is producing a decent number of Hydralisks and other things. It looks like maybe he just wants to go for a big army attack.
If he does go for an attack, I would like to see the lurkers burrow behind the army first. That would be
that would be nice. That would be nice. That would be nice. Come in from that side. I'm just kind of leaving him, parking him there right now.
He is bringing some reinforcements through the side up the high ground as well. Looks like he's just going to send everything through the back instead of the front.
He made Archons. Did he not get Storm? Why did he make two Archons? I feel like Storm is going to be way better against lurkers attacking to your natural than a few. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Let's see where he goes with these bad boys. He's going for it. He's doing what you wanted, Jones. He's doing it. He's doing it. Oh, now run in with everything else. No, the OBS is out, though, and the Storm is down. I saw an OBS. I think I saw an OBS. Maybe I'm crazy. But it's enough to call GG.
Yeah.
GG. Wow. So AgGe eventually gets it, and that was good. I think Probe King really should have won that game. Biggest things I would say for him was, number one, not having it click that there was a second hatchery, and then I don't like the fact that after he was killing the hatchery, he didn't eco up at all. That's one of those situations where if Zerg like starts turtling, and you can sense that, you know, and realize you're not going to just kill him right now, then you pretty much have two choices. You either eco hard to consolidate your advantage there, or you say, okay, he's going to turtle hard. I think the timings are going to work out such that I can get something like a Reaver and just bust him and go that way. But he didn't do either. He just kind of sat on some gateway units with low eco and lost a big advantage. I think AgGe also had a few opportunities where he could have won earlier. It's like the way he played wasn't bad, but I felt like it probably wasn't the fastest or easiest win. You know, when he had Protoss on a Citadel and 2 or 3 gateways, and Protoss had just suicided his army, and he had 3 Hatch Hydra, like 3 Hatch Hydra against a Protoss with not even an archive started, and the cannons positioned the way they were. Just Hydra spam and range down buildings is a really easy way to win.
Yeah, I think you pretty much nailed every nail on the head there. I don't really have much more to add to that at all. That was a good analysis there.
All right, let's see how Probe King responds after that game. But yeah, I like games like those because those really do. And I think what I was trying to say earlier that I never quite articulated right is that. Well, first let's introduce the players. In the top left-hand corner, as the Brown Zerg, up 1-0, we have IRK's AgGe.
And in the bottom left corner, we have the yellow Protoss, Probe King, seeking revenge for last game.
Let me quickly answer a viewer question here from Dying Quick.
I was gonna link him right now.
All right, Jealous gonna hook you up. But yeah, CPL's going on, and he'll link you. There's a TL thread. There's a Discord for it. A bunch of good stuff on that. And Probe King is Probe King just doesn't want to fuck. Oh wait, yeah, he just doesn't want to fuck around. He's like, I haven't been practicing. I don't know. Maybe it's just Probe King style. Maybe his name is Probe King because he likes Cheese King. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if you're that frustrated with the Protoss versus Zerg matchup, I definitely feel your pain, and I don't blame you at all for doing this.
Is that a response to what happened last night?
No, that's a response to like a 20-year career.
So. The other thing I was going to say about those kind of unorthodox games is I think there's a tendency, especially for new players, because we do talk so much about mechanics and macro and build orders. I think there's a tendency when you're newer, you get in one of those situations and players want to normalize to the macro situation that they know. So I'll see a lot of people be in like a situation, an unorthodox situation, and they just try to get to like 5 hatches and their Hydras, or they try to get to having a natural and 8 gates, you know. And there's times where that's not the best play. If you're in an unorthodox situation, like there are times where it makes more sense to just stay on a super fucking low eco and like get a Spire or, you know, make a bunch of Hydras here. So I would say if it's an unorthodox situation, try to think in your head more strategically and don't just be like, oh, I have to go and I have to get my 5 hatches and then I have to make, you know, it's a little different when you've been proxy gated or something weird is going on.
Yeah, and I think that Probe King is most likely preying on that fact, is the fact that a lot of the people that he's going to be facing don't know all that many builds, don't have the reactions to non-standard things. Like, you don't very often see center 2-gate against Zerg and, I don't know, pro games right now or on stream right now. So even if you are, you know, like putting in the effort as a Zerg player to learn the various Muta timings, Hydra timings, you know, different expansion options, you're not going to have that much exposure to center 2-gate. So definitely something that I think works a lot better at the lower levels than the higher levels, and Probe King is taking advantage of that. And the first Zealot is on the way. The drone is going to scout it, knows where it's coming from, and we're actually going to get a cross scout diagonally. I really like this.
Oh, AgGe is just like nailing the scouts. Let's see what he does this time.
Yeah, he's going to run back with that. I think that's a good call.
Guys, one thing, okay, double sunken, he's just going to seed his natural. Double sunken, alright. I wouldn't double sunken though, because here's the thing. If Zerg runs in, or if Protoss runs into your main, honestly, there's a decent chance you'll be able to defend, especially with 1 sunken and drills buying time for lings. And if you double sunken, it's just too much. You don't need double sunken. Oh, I forgot to kill the replay bar. Fuck. He says, I love you, man. But the one thing I would like to see differently from AgGe here is I think just going 2 sunkens like this, hurting your eco that bad and not grabbing any tech, it doesn't leave you many options. Protoss is 6 zealots on the ramp and most likely eco's up. I would really like to see, if you're going to do this, I would like to see gas get taken and go for something, some tech-wise. Either some sort of a slow drop, go for... Honestly, I find even at C and D, I have won probably 80%, 90% of my games playing against Protoss as EVP when they do this. If I see it in time, I just throw a sunken in the main, drill on it, and I get gas immediately and just make a Spire and just rush out Muta. And I've been able to win most of my games because players just don't expect you to do 1-hatch builds and how fast the Muta comes. So I think that's a really powerful response, especially at low levels. You know, a good player can scout it and figure it out, but with a sunken there, most players won't go in far enough. They won't know what you're doing, and I found it to be a pretty strong way to play, particularly at lower ranks.
Yeah, you could put the Spire in the very top left corner.
That's where I usually put it, yeah.
Yeah. And on top of that, if you look at AgGe's resources, even despite the fact that, you know, he got those 2 sunkens, he used 2 drones to do so.
Oh, look at this though. You see top left of the base? It's brown, so it's hard to see. It's found, but AgGe's liking to have extra hatcheries.
Well, where is it?
Look at.
Oh, I found it. Yeah, oh, I've seen it.
It's hard to see.
Yeah,
it's hard to see.
I was gonna say he should throw down another hatchery, but
he is throwing down another hatchery.
Wow, okay, so now this is going to force a few Zealots back, but I don't think it's going to be too big of an issue. Honestly, the Zealot is already here. I don't think this hatchery is going to survive for much longer, and he's going to run. I
will personally say I don't dislike the fact that Probe King is getting tech. I think that's fine. But I do dislike the fact that he refuses to eco at all.
Absolutely.
Like, I mean, you have enough money at this point, you don't need to make a Zealot every second out of your gateway. There's no good reason not to go back into probes.
Yeah, they have equal economies more or less, and AgGe is going for that layer as you wanted.
Yeah. He's adding a few drones on, and he's getting a second hatchery, so that's good.
And Probe King is adding a forge now as well. It's the same thing as before. It's kind of like he's not committing to either option. He's not If you went for Nexus, I could agree with a forge, maybe, right? But if you're going for Dragoons, then why do you need a forge? You know, like, you might as well just go heavy on the Dragoons and go for that bust.
Especially when there's only 1 hatch. You know, I could see where, because cannons definitely are much more effective against lings than Dragoons are. So I could see where if there was like 2 hatches and you were really scared the Zerg was going to spam lings, you might feel the need for cannons. But in a situation like this, no, yeah. And there's also in a situation like this where you have Zealots on the ramp. Like Zerg is not going to throw lings at the Zealots on the ramp, and if they do, it's going to be worthless for them. So yeah, you don't need to make cannons. Unless, of course, he's scared of Muta. But that's a different issue.
We are seeing an Evo chamber again, so he's probably anticipating another Corsair, but this time we are going for that Dragoon range. And this is exactly what I'm talking about, though. He got this Forge, but he's not I don't think he's making a cannon. I don't think he should make a cannon. So
I like this. I like this adjustment from Probe King. I think this should be kind of the default rather than the adjustment. But Probe King obviously figured out that there was a hatch somewhere else, and so he is checking with zealots and other units, trying to make sure he's not getting snuck out. He's scouting with dragoons here, going to pick off this Overlord. So some better moves here from Probe King. I kind of dislike the fact that Probe King is actually up the ramp. It's very unlikely that AgGe would have enough lings to kill this, but if AgGe had been just pure linging, this would be vulnerable, and if he wasn't looking, this could get pretty badly surrounded.
Absolutely. The Dragoon also being out front of the Zealots absolutely unnecessary as well.
Yeah, that's a bad placement. The Dragoon should be back, definitely.
Question from Wish Stands: why does this player continue to play one base? Well, I know that this was probably asked a little bit ago, and actually here comes the surround.
Oh yeah, and he's getting it pretty good. So there was no reason for him to dive in here, and AgGe should be able to clean up the vast majority of this, maybe even all of it. Yep, looks like he'll just get it. He basically gets everything. Maybe one zealot will live, maybe not. No.
Nope.
All right, so that was wasteful. So that was basically, had he stayed on the ramp, all those lings would have died and killed like 3 zealots. Instead, he just kind of gave away, and now he has to worry about his gateways getting killed off again, which exposes his natural, but he is adding cannons, so that's good. Now, AgGe's got this Spire coming. He is making Muta, which is going to be a game ender, as we can see, so, it's going to work out.
Yeah, AgGe definitely, probably after last game, he's thinking a little bit more on his feet. Both players definitely adapted a little bit better to the situation. So it was basically identical situations to last game, and both players played better this time around, but AgGe still, his improvement was still a little bit better than.
And I mean, now all AgGe has to do is go to the main, and this is what I talked about. This just players just don't. It's weird because in my mind, if I trap a Zerg on one base and they just sit there and don't seem to do anything, the first thing I'm going to assume is they're probably just going to mute me. But it seems like most people don't think that way, and Probe King is 100% not expecting Muta here, and he's gonna die.
Yeah. To answer what Wish Stands said, Wish's fans said earlier, they're on one base, but probably because they wanted to bust, make enough dragoons and bust the Sunkens. But also keep in mind that these players aren't the top tier. I know you said you wanted to come watch BSL here, but I hope you stick around and maybe you'll learn something here as well.
If you want BSL, I'll give you a hint. There's BSL Gosu League in 10 days. Something like that, 9 days, starting next Tuesday. Not 2 days from now, but a week and 2 days from now. On this very channel. And GG. So AgGe will take the series 2-0. I love that AgGe made a pair of Scourge. Sorry. I'm assuming that's sorry.
Yeah.
All right. So why does Protoss continue to play one base? I mean, I'll say a few things about that. The first is that there's nothing inherently wrong with one base. Probably if you look at objective top level, one base is worse than two base. Yes, okay. Except as a surprise build. But the fact is nobody plays at top level here. That's none of us. So it all comes down to skill. And you should do what you like and are comfortable with, I don't think any of us are playing to be pro gamers, and if you like one-base builds, or you find playing PvZ with Forge Expand to be too taxing or not fun or pain in the ass, play what's enjoyable for you. And, if that's what, or gives you the best chance to win. And if you're not comfortable with the Forge FE, maybe your mechanics aren't to that point or whatever, then go for that, particularly if you're just playing to have fun. If you're really, really serious and the only thing you care about is getting better and that's what motivates you, then I might say don't play it. But Brood War is a fun game, so do the things for you that are fun. If you need a break from that, just play what's fun. And if you're good enough, I guarantee you take a player like Bonth and tell him all he can do is 2-gate, 5 Zealot Expand, PvZ, he'll smash everybody up to 2,500. So, yeah, 2-base Protoss is better, but skill is so much more relevant that it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, you have to keep in mind that there are pro gamers that do sometimes do one base build, so it's not completely unheard of. I think you alluded to that as well. You very rarely see it, but the discussion about fun has been brought up recently on Team Liquid in the thread about how we can make this community more attractive to newer players, and making the game about fun is one of those ways. I feel like a lot of people forget that this is a game when you're playing so competitively.
Yeah, and I think so much of the advice. Sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead.
No, that's it.
I was gonna say, like, I think there's so much talk, right? Because a lot of people do care about that, and it is, you know, like the Team Liquid community is a pretty serious, you know, 1v1 community. So there's a lot of talk about getting better.